Our drama begins at Young Bin's school, and at first it looks like a very calm and quiet place, but of course that is completely wrong because all the students are sleeping. No, actually, they are hitting each other, and on the other side we see our hero whose name is Kim, and he argues with the teacher because she asked the students to work together in groups. And here our heroine whose name is Kong An speaks up and says that since he is a student, he must mix with others, and she encourages him, so he is forced to agree even though he feels annoyed. And after that, we see many students choosing to join Kim's group, and poor guy gets shocked and even more scared. And here we see Kim swapping names with Kong as part of April Fool's Day, and she tells him to take care of her name. And this is just one of the games they play at school. Then we see Kim sitting and playing with one of his classmates, and his hairstyle looks strange. But what is even stranger is that all the students around them also look weird because they are wearing wigs. So this is totally normal for them. But for Kong, we see her running with one of her friends because they are going to eat. And later, she joins a live competition and fails badly. And the next day in class, Kong is absent, so the teacher asks who is missing. And the students reply and say Kim is absent and that she is in the hospital. Of course, they say Kim because of the name switching game. And the real Kim gets extremely angry. And at the same time, we see Kong leaving a market and noticing some students bullying a weak boy. So she decides to step in and throws a milk carton at them, then runs away before they catch her. But unlucky for her, the card with the name Kim falls from her pocket. And meanwhile, with Kim, we see him talking with his friend who asks him if he likes her or feels that she is nice. And Kim replies, yes, she is kind, but only if she stays quiet and does not talk. And that is because at the same time, she is playing the bottle game, and one student asks her if this is a challenge, and she says yes. Then he asks her name, and she answers that her name is Kim. And at that moment, Kim tries to talk to Kong to stop this name switching thing, but a girl suddenly walks in and asks for Kim. So both of them raise their hands saying they are Kim, and the girl gets confused, but the real Kim insists it is him. And then comes the shock when she tells him that some students are waiting outside and want to beat him up, so he should prepare himself. And he freezes, thinking he should never have spoken. And he looks at Kong, whose face is full of innocence, like she did nothing wrong. Damn it, girl. Then Kim tries to ask her what exactly happened, but she stops him and calmly says, relax and just tell me what your favorite animal is. Then she pulls out a marker, and later we see Kong talking to the students who came to beat Kim, and she tells them that she is Kim and asks what they want. And their leader laughs because she is a girl, and suddenly they roll up their sleeves, and each of them has a tattoo of their favorite animal on their arms. And the real Kim's arm has a panda, which honestly looks funny, while his friend Kang looks sick and Kong's animal is a tiger. Even the leader laughs at how ridiculous they look and tells them to wash their t-shirts, but they refuse. So he insults their parents, and Kim replies that his father has passed away, which makes the leader feel affected and fall silent. Then an old woman suddenly appears and starts yelling at them and is about to hit them, so they get scared and run away. After that, we see Kim trying to erase the tattoo on his arm, but he cannot because it was written with a permanent marker and it will stay like that. And at the same time, we see Kong busy printing photos of the three of them and joking with her friend that it seems like she has started liking Kim, and now he has become one of them. And the next day in class, we see Kim's classmate trying to take a photo of his tattoo. So Kim tries to grab the phone and delete the picture, and then two girls arrive and see what is happening and start talking to Kim, who keeps trying to avoid them. And then he is shocked to discover a list filled with requests and wishes from his classmates that they want him to fulfill. So he panics and tries to run away, but bumps into someone and falls. And after 6 years pass, we see the same scene that once happened with Kong, and we realize that she is now in university. And when she goes to her classroom, she finds no one there. Then a counselor comes and tells her that this was an April Fool's joke, and they wrote it in the group chat, and she writes her name for attendance that day. And the counselor asks her to join activities at the end of the week because she joined late. Then we see her walking on the road, and suddenly she stops when she hears a siren sound, gets a panic attack, freezes in place for a moment, and two girls come to check on her, but she tells them she is fine and walks away quickly. And then we see Kong remembering moments from the past, how one day Kim gave her a bag from his mother that contained her belongings, and he asked her not to tell anyone and left quickly because the situation was very embarrassing, especially since they live on the same street. And when Kong reaches home, she sends a message to Kim's mother to thank her. But Kim sees the phone and deletes the message before his mother can read it. And the next morning at school, Kim sees Kong carrying the same bag from yesterday, and he becomes worried. Even in class, he keeps focusing on it, and then his attention shifts to Kong as she starts writing her event list. Today, she writes it on the blackboard, and when Kim sees it, he is completely shocked. Then we see him sitting with his friends, and suddenly he notices that Kong needs a cake for her friend's birthday, and she hands her the bag, which makes him panic. And here, his friend asks him what this cake is. So Kim replies that it is for Ty's birthday, who is Kong's friend, and his friend suddenly gets angry and says, "Why didn't you tell me earlier?" And Kim looks confused and asks him why he even wants to know Ty's birthday. And he answers that it was the perfect chance to get close to her because he likes her. At that moment, we see Kim talking to Kong and asking her if he did something wrong, and she asks what he means. So he explains that he means what happened yesterday, talking about the gift bag. And she replies no, but says that she feels upset when he doubts her and always misunderstands her like this, saying that he keeps wronging her. So he apologizes and says sorry for the misunderstanding and asks her not to tell anyone about what happened yesterday. And she says okay, but asks if she can request a favor. And he asks what it is. So she says, "Can we switch our names again like we did on April Fool's Day?" And he asks her why. And she explains that on that day, she got 70 marks in the English exam for the first time and even received a free meal. And all of that was new for her. So she thought that if she did it again, she might get something even bigger. Because when they switched names, luck came to her side, and she tells him that he does not understand the importance of his name and asks him to think about what happened when he switched names with her. And Kim remembers everything that happened that day, all the strange and terrible things he was not used to at all. Yet he still tries to convince her that this is not right and it should not happen again. But the next day, she calls him by her name, Kong, and he is shocked. Even in class, when the students come asking for Kim and say the principal wants him, both of them stand up, but Kong goes instead, carrying the name Kim. And even in the game hall, she takes turns pretending to be Kim. And like this, the days keep passing. Kim uses the name Kong and does everything that is asked of her as if he were her. And she does the same in reverse. And one day in the counseling office, we see Kim with his uncle and Kong with her father, who asks her to apologize to Kim for taking his name. But Kim's mother speaks and says it is fine and nothing happened and that they are clearly just joking with each other. Then the teacher steps in and says he did not bring them here for an apology, but instead shows them a file with Kim's photo and explains that he received a scholarship with Kong's help. And Kim's mother becomes extremely happy. Then we see Kim walking with his mother, who is smiling proudly because he made friends and received a scholarship. And suddenly, they notice Kong and her father walking behind them, and they explain that they live on the same street, which surprises Kim's mother, and she politely says goodbye. But then Kong asks her father to act like Kim's mother and son and walk together with them. After that, Kim and his mother stop in front of a restaurant, and Kong's father comes up to them and invites them inside, saying the food is really good. But Kim's mother replies that the place looks closed, and he laughs and says no, it is open, and that he will prepare the food himself because this is his restaurant, which shocks them when they read the restaurant name. And inside the restaurant, Kim's mother absolutely loves the food and feels very happy. And here, Kong's father asks Kim if they are still switching names. And Kim stays silent because he does not know what to say, while Kong pretends not to hear anything. And the next day, we see Kong in a clothing store with Ty, who teases her and says, "Hey, isn't this chocolate Kim's? You stole all his things." And even though she thought Kim was a simple guy, he actually has a wide reputation in school. But how long will she keep using his name? And when Kong is about to leave, she sees some clothes she likes, and from her eyes, it is clear she wants to buy them. And the next day at school, the teacher asks Kim to recite a poem or a story, and he actually starts speaking, and everyone is amazed, while Kong begins remembering all the moments she shared with Kim. And one day, Kong wears the new dress, but sadly, it gets dirty by a passing car, and she feels upset, but she washes it and sits with her sister, who tells her that there is someone in the same building selling the exact thing she likes and asks if she wants to buy them. And Kong becomes happy because she expects it to be Kim, so she gets herself ready to go there. And when they finally meet, Kim is surprised to see her clothes wet and notices she is also injured on her finger, which makes him worry about her while she secretly enjoys his concern. Then we return to the present and see a tall, big, sick-looking man dressed completely in black ringing the doorbell of Kong's house, and she is shocked to find that it is Kim. So shocked that she slams the door in his face, but ends up hurting his hand, and she becomes worried. But why is she so shocked? I will tell you, because Kim was supposed to have died 4 years ago, and now he is standing right in front of her. So how can a dead person come back to life? And when he enters the house, he opens all the windows, saying he wants to let fresh air in, which makes her even more confused. And then Kong asks him if he is real, and Kim replies yes, and says he actually came to tell her something, that sadly, she is going to die 1 week from now. And Kong stares at him in disbelief and asks what nonsense he is saying, asking if he is some soul reaper or what, maybe Azrael himself, and he calmly replies yes. So she reaches out and touches him just to make sure he is real and truly standing in front of her, and then she runs outside the house in complete shock. Then she finds a mailman, so she asks him to come inside the house with her because there is a strange man inside and she is scared. So he enters with her and asks nervously if the man is maybe in the bathroom, and she replies, "What bathroom? He is standing right in front of you." But the mailman says, "Where? I do not see anyone." See? And Kim calmly says that no one can see him except her, so she should not tire herself. Then he talks directly to the mailman, but Kong tells the mailman not to listen to him, which annoys the mailman, and he leaves angrily saying, "Did you bring me here just to embarrass me, or what?" After that, Kong goes inside and calls her doctor to ask if her medicine can cause hallucinations, and the doctor replies no, while at the same time Kim is carefully observing the things in her apartment. Then he notices she has gone silent, so he walks over to her and is shocked to see that she has covered her eyes and is sitting quietly. But suddenly, she stands up angrily, and he goes to open the fridge jokingly to lighten the mood, which makes her even angrier, and she shouts, asking, "Who are you?" And he replies, saying, "Your name is Kim." So she yells back that her name is Kong, and he tells her, "Didn't you insist that we change names?" Then he goes to open the memory book to show her the name switching, but he is shocked when she suddenly grabs a fire extinguisher and sprays it straight at his face, and he reacts saying, "Wow, a fire extinguisher. That is actually a good idea." And at that moment, we shift into a flashback to their school days, where we see Kong sitting in class when a girl comes to her and says that someone named Bang wants to see her outside. So she goes out and finds a shy-looking girl who asks her to give this letter to the boy she likes. And when Kong opens the letter, she is shocked to see that it is for Kim. So she says, "Wait, this is our Kim." And Bang replies yes, and says she likes him, asking if there is any problem. And Kong quickly says, no, nothing. She is just not sure whether Kim likes things like this or not. So Bang says, "Then fine, I will go ask him out myself." And Kong panics and says, "No, I will handle it." Bang thanks her for helping and gives her some money since she is the closest person to Kim, then quietly leaves. The next day in class, Kong keeps staring at Kim without realizing it herself. A little later, her friend Tai comes over and tells her that Bang is waiting outside looking for her. Hearing this, Kong panics and quickly asks Tai to tell Bang that she is not at school today and did not come at all, asking her to distract her in any possible way because she absolutely cannot meet her right now. Tai actually goes outside and makes up random excuses, confusing Bang until she finally leaves. Later that day, Kong sits with Tai on the school rooftop, both of them talking about the huge mess they have fallen into and wondering how they are going to fix everything. Suddenly, Bang notices them from a distance and calls out Kong's name. Startled, Kong immediately tries to run while Tai helps her escape. Bang keeps searching for her everywhere around the school. In the chaos, Kong loses her balance near a window and accidentally falls to the ground below. The entire school is shocked, and rumors quickly spread, even reaching her family, including her sister and her father. The next day in class, Kong appears unusually quiet and distant. Kim secretly sends her a note saying that he is worried about her and wants to support her. Instead of responding normally, she suddenly begins laughing without realizing it herself, making everyone around her feel confused about her behavior. Back in the present, Kong walks down the street while Kim follows beside her, casually talking to her. To strangers passing by, it looks as if she is speaking alone, which makes them stare at her strangely. Trying to calm herself, Kong enters a swimming place to relax and spends some quiet time there by herself. When she comes back out, Kim is still there waiting and jokingly says that she took too long. Suddenly, she stops stops walking and asks him seriously why he is the only one who keeps appearing before her while no one else seems to notice anything. Kim responds calmly, telling her to think of it as a small favor from someone who cares. He then gently takes her along to a medical building. Inside, he meets someone he knows and explains that he brought her with him. As Kong watches everything happening around her, she begins recalling strange moments from her past that look exactly like what she is witnessing now. The scenes overlap in her mind, making her heart race as confusion grows stronger. Later, we see Kong sitting quietly beside Kim, finally asking him in a trembling voice what exactly is going to happen to her next. And he replies that he cannot tell her. So she says that means I only have 1 week left. Then she stands up and says she will go sleep, but he replies, sleep for what? You are gonna die in 1 week, so there must be many things you want to do. And he starts suggesting things she should do, but she coldly replies that those are the things he wants to do, not her. Then he says there is only one thing he personally wants to do, and he goes silent. Then he shows her a list of things he wishes to do, and she realizes she wants almost the same things. After that, we see him riding a bicycle behind Kong, and we learn that the thing he wanted most was riding a bike. Then we go back to another flashback where we see Bang confronting Kong and asking her why she did that and why the letter is still not ready, and Kong replies that the letter is almost done but needs a few more things to be fixed, and that she put all her feelings into it. And Bang reacts in shock and anger, asking, do you have feelings for Kim? And Kong laughs sarcastically and signals Tai to step in and say anything. So Tai pretends to feel sick, but Bang says their behavior is very suspicious, and it clearly shows she likes him, and Kong quickly denies it, saying she does not like him at all, and he is not even her favorite type. But Bang insists on seeing the letter anyway, and we see Kong sitting sadly as she hands the letter to Bang, who likes it a lot, and asks then what is still missing in it. So Kong opens a sticker book and points at a heart sticker to add, and Bang excitedly takes the letter. Then we return to the present where Kong crosses out the first wish as completed, and they move to the second one, and we see them watching birds and animals, which turns out to be the second wish. Then we see Kong eating noodles while Kim sprinkles snow on her, which is the third wish, and the fourth is attending a singing concert. Then we return to a flashback where Kong is talking with Tai about Kim, when they suddenly see him standing with Bang, who is holding the letter, and Kong gets angry, but Tai calms her, saying they will probably separate soon, and Kong runs so fast that she even forgets her crutch, and because of running too hard, she falls right in front of them, making everyone panic. But she is fine, and she imagines herself confessing her feelings to Kim, and he rejects her, saying he loves Bang, and it is better if they stay friends. So she decides to confess her love to Bang instead, meaning anyone is fine. But again, she imagines being told they should just stay friends, and then she imagines Bang not being good looking but still loving her anyway, and imagines that he will end up alone, and Kim telling her that is okay and he can start playing games with other people. Then she snaps out of her imagination before she can say anything. A ball suddenly hits her and she falls to the ground. Everyone panics, and Kim carries her to the nurse's room and explains what happened. She wakes up later and Tai comes to check on her, asking what happened after she fell, and Kong replies that Bang confessed to Kim and everyone was clapping for them, which makes her extremely sad. Then we see Kong going home while Kim follows her, offering to help and worrying about her, but she refuses. Then he asks her to write a letter for someone, and she suddenly snaps and says she quit doing that, but he keeps begging her until she agrees, and he gives her $30. He gets shocked and tells her to lower the price a little, but she replies saying now it is $40. So he complains, asking if there is no discount for friends. Are we not friends or something like that? And she answers coldly that if he talks again, she will charge even more, and he should thank God that she even agreed to write after quitting this whole thing. And when she goes home, she sits down to write the letter, but she starts crying because it turns out he loves Bang and not her, so she feels heartbroken and unlucky. And at that moment, we return to the present where they are completing the fourth wish, which is jumping from high places, and she is extremely scared, but he keeps trying to comfort her and hands her the helmet, and she tries to calm herself down by thinking that Kim is with her. Then she asks him if he is not going to wear a helmet too, and he replies no, because he is not jumping, which shocks her because now it is her turn, and she tries to step back and avoid it, but suddenly someone pulls her, and it turns out Kim did it on purpose, excited and mischievous, and and she is completely terrified, screaming at the top of her lungs, and she jumps and experiences the new challenge. Then we return to the past where Kong gives the letter to Kim, and when he opens it, he finds Bang's name written inside. So he asks her why she wrote her name when the letter is actually for his mother, and she reacts saying, "What? Seriously? Why did you not tell me earlier?" And he replies, "Yes," and explains that the short form written there is because his mother loves him, not Bang, and she suddenly realizes that is why his mother thanked her for the effort in the letter. And he replies yes and says it is fine. He can just change the name. It is not a big problem. Then he asks her, wasn't she supposed to take $45? And she replies, no, it is fine. He does not need to pay this time and should keep his money. So he thanks her and leaves. But she follows him and asks how things are going with Bang. And he replies that he told her sorry, which shocks her. And she asks, what? You rejected her? Why would you do that? She likes you, and she is pretty too. And he calmly replies that right now he wants to focus on his studies and get into college. And she nods, saying yes, that actually makes sense. Then we return to the present where Kong safely reaches the top, but she cannot find Kim anywhere. So she starts calling out for him, feeling very scared because he is nowhere to be seen, until he suddenly appears and jokes, asking, what, were you scared when you could not find me? Did you miss me or something? And she stays silent. So he says, what matters is that you enjoyed it, which makes her angry, and she shouts, no. Then we return to the past where we see Kong talking to her friend about how she wants to attend a singing concert, ride in a hot air balloon, and ride a bicycle with the person she loves, while her eyes quietly look toward Kim. And here, dear viewer, we finally understand that the wishes Kim asked Kong to fulfill were actually the wishes Kong herself wanted to do back when she was a student. And at that moment, we see a funeral. Kim's friend is crying, Tai, Kong's friend, is crying as well, and we realize that this is Kim's funeral, and people are saying that Kong is the reason behind Kim's death. And from far away, we see Kong standing alone, watching everything silently. And with that, first part of this drama comes to the end. So if you enjoy it, so don't forget to like and subscribe to channel now.